Are you ready to stop just surviving and start living again? Welcome back to Choose Purposeful. Today we're opening chapter 10 of Where the Creek Bends. Last week we were out on the terrifying freezing ice and we watched Rolli use his mended net to save a life, and we learned that our own healed scars eventually become a lifeline for others. But a crisis doesn't last forever. Eventually, the adrenaline fades, the mending is finished, and the winter quiet returns. And that leaves us with a massive question. How do we step back into the light without feeling like we're leaving the past behind? Today, we're going to go inside a warm and rustic cottage on Christmas Eve, and we're going to watch a family do the bravest thing you can do after a devastating loss. They're going to build a new memory. Chapter 10 is called The Gift of the Rod. It's Christmas in the Appalachian Valley, and Mildred's cottage is a hive of preparation. For the first time since her husband Michael left, Mildred is hosting dinner. She polishes her delicate forget-me-not china. She is not trying to recreate Christmases of the past. She knows that would be a painful facade. Instead, she's taking out the good china as an act of rebellion. It's a decision to stop hoarding her grief in solitary confinement and start sharing Michael's memory with the people sitting around her table. Her friends fill the small room, and the table is extended and elbows are brushing against each other. Laughter overlaps. After dinner, Old Man Hemlock stands up. He looks at Rolli and says, "I have watched a fisherman be forged this year. Not from fancy gear, but from a bent branch, a torn shoelace, and a whole lot of heart." He unwraps a long bundle and hands Rolli his own personal weathered fishing rod. He tells the boy that this is not a gift, it's a responsibility. "That rod has seen more fish than you've seen sunsets," Hemlock says. "It's got patience in its bones. It's time it taught someone else." Later, his friend Christina hands him a small, bright red hand-whittled float to go along with this gift. Rolli is no longer just a boy surviving with a bent branch. He's been handed a legacy. When you go through massive loss, you spend a long time surviving. You use whatever bent branch you can just to get by. But there comes a day when the surviving is done. There comes a day when you are handed the tools for your future, and you have to accept them. If you're struggling to accept what your winter of mending is, it's time to stop and step into your new life. Use the toolkit. Stop. Stop believing that your grief has to be the loudest voice in the room forever. It is part of you, but it doesn't have to rule the night. Look at the people gathered around your table. Look at the friends who've helped you rebuild your house into a home. Listen to the quiet, steady hum of life continuing. Feel the weight of the new responsibilities and the legacy being handed to you. Feel the warmth of the fire and let yourself enjoy it. You can build a new life without erasing the memory of the old one. So let's make a deal this week. I want you to commit an act of rebellion against solitary grief. Pull out the good china, host the dinner, send the invitation, or take the tool that someone is trying to pass down to you and accept it. Step into your new normal this week. Next week, we take a look at Chapter 11. The winter's finally beginning to thaw. Rolli takes his new legacy rod down to the creek. We're going to talk about what it looks like to finally step fully into your new life. And we discover that sometimes the greatest catch is absolutely nothing to do with catching a fish. May you find the courage to pull out the good china. May you be surrounded by people who recognize the hard work of your mending. And may you realize that your deepest grief and your greatest joy can sit at the exact same table. Stop, look, listen, feel, choose. Do the work, practice gratitude, harness peace, and always choose purposeful. See you next week.